Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So I asked y'all to give me your questions, and some of y'all did. So I'm just gonna Q&A and try to answer these questions, and let's just get into it. So Riley Schiffler says, "Do you ever think we will lose Gaddis in a couple of years for a head coaching job?" Yeah. With Gaddis winning Assistant Coach of the Year, he's a hot commodity. So we may not lose him this year or next year, but it's coming. It could be 2023. We probably after next year. I wouldn't be surprised if he left, got another job, maybe a head coaching job. It's coming though. So I see Gaddis on the staff for maybe one more year, 2 years at the most, and he's gonna be gone because he's building a name. And when a team has success like we're having, the coaches get poached from that team. So we're gonna start losing coaches because they're seeing other programs are seeing we are having success. They want to know how we're doing it, and they'll look to the assistant coaches. Your second question was, do I think Hutch will go first in the draft? It's a big possibility. It just kind of depends on who's got the number one pick. Is that their need? Because some teams will go on if that's what they need, and then some teams will just say, okay, I'm going to take the best player regardless, and then either trade him away or try to use him. But it's a big possibility he could go number one, especially now with these playoff games. If Hutch has, let's say he has 2-3 sacks against Georgia and we beat them, and he does the same thing against Bama, he'll probably go number one. So he's top 5 right now, most likely, top 10 for sure. But if he has a huge game against Georgia, he could probably go number one almost for sure because he's up there. Like his stock is going through the roof because if he doesn't get to the quarterback, he pressures the quarterback. Now let's see. You say, do I think JJ gets the job over Cade next year? And if not, do I think JJ will transfer? Now, with that, I'm just going to say what I hope happens. And this is regardless of what happens this year. Even if we win the national championship, Cade's ceiling isn't as high as JJ's. We all know this. It's nothing new. So even if we win the title, you can't just give somebody the job off of what they did last year. Sports programs, great programs don't work like that. You build up a certain level of loyalty, but you can't do that because it'll hold you back. So regardless of what happens, JJ is a 5-star. We haven't had a 5-star since I don't know when. I guess you could say Shea, but I don't even want to get into that. But we don't have that. We don't have another 5-star on the bench, so it's not like we have it like Alabama or even Ohio State. So with us having a 5-star in JJ and him being a big team guy and him having the highest ceiling with the throws that he can make, and also him being mobile, which will open up the offense even more, I'm hoping JJ just wins the job. Now, that's not me saying I don't have any love for Cade. Cade is a great leader. He's taken us far. He's a beast in his own right for what he does. But the ceiling is higher with JJ because JJ can just do more. So if JJ is just as good, if spring practice is over and the season is about to start, and if Harbaugh thinks like JJ and Cade are neck and neck, I'd give the job to JJ because his ceiling is higher. So if he's as good as Cade right now, I'm going to play him. I'm going to play the young guy with the bigger upside. Now, if Cade, let's say JJ doesn't win the job, for whatever reason, and I'm not sure if he would transfer because he still knows it's his job for the future. And I think it just kind of depends on the scenario because JJ is he's bought in a lot to Michigan. Even when we had the bad year with COVID and stuff, he was telling people calm down and I'm not going anywhere. We gonna get this right. So I think him transferring is the last thing that he wants to do. I think he wants to be at Michigan and he wants to continue making Michigan what it used to be and maybe even taking it to a place that we haven't been. So if that answers your question, I don't see him transferring right away, but if it comes out, it's hard to say, honestly. Hopefully he wouldn't transfer, but you think you a 5-star and you that dude. At a certain point, you want to be the guy. You don't want to be splitting time with Cade or whatever. You want it to be your team. So me personally, I'm just kind of hoping he wins it. He wins it because his upside can take this team to another level. So I hope that answered all three of your questions. Let's see. Jack Winslow, appreciate the question. You say, what am I most excited for next year? To see how the defense reloads or to see how the offense looks with all the returning firepower? It's the offense. I'm ready to see, and this goes into what he just asked. I'm ready to see what this offense can be with all these guys coming back. Blake, Donovan Edwards, all the receivers are back. I think Eric All will probably be back, and Shoemaker. Pretty much everybody's back on the offense. Now, and that's with Cade coming back, him having another year in the system, and with JJ. Now, if JJ, and really I want to see what it could be like if JJ is the full-time starter. Because you got a mobile QB that can make every throw on the field, deep throws, short, intermediate, and him being able to run, it opens up the run game even more. So I want to see, that's what I want to see is how good could this offense be with all these returning players and then with JJ to put him over the top. So that's what I want to see. Now the defense, you say the defense reloading, I want to see who steps in, but I want to see the offense. I'm more excited about the offense to see what this offense could be. Let's see. Shout out to Holy Reaver 97 says, any early thoughts on the new wide receiver commit Darius Clemens? Dude is 6'3" and runs a 4.3 40. He's the most exciting new player next year in my opinion. I had to go and look at some of his film, and he's a stud. He's a long strider, and he's got great ball skills, and that's something we need. We need a big dude. We need another big dude that can go up and get it, and hopefully get deep and, make those big plays, kind of like Nico. And we need kind of a Nico type. We don't really have that dude that's just huge, and you throw it up, he's coming down with it. So I'm looking at his film. Yeah, I'm excited for him. Definitely. Second question, the schedule sets up pretty favorably for Michigan next year. No Wisconsin. And the two big road games are Iowa and OSU. You think Michigan could go 11-1 next year if the energy comes over from this year? What are my thoughts? You said it right there. I'm expecting this team to continue to be good or great, because we got a lot of talent coming back, and also some of the older players are leaving, but you got younger players that have been playing this year and got to feel what it's like to win the Big Ten and, getting ready to play this playoff game. So, yeah, I'm expecting us to continue it and have another good or great season. Definitely. Who do I think steps up next year and becomes the next star Michigan player? Who might we watch out for that could get all Big Ten or all American recognition? The next big player, I would say Corum, but we know he's about to break out for real. If it wasn't for injury, he would have really broke out this year, but he had some Heisman hype early in the season. Honestly, I'm thinking it's probably going to be on defense. One of the defensive players, whether that's Colson, Rod Moore, maybe R.J. Moden. I'm thinking one of these dudes is going to step up and really get the system and put up some pretty good numbers to become an All-American next year. Like, I see those young dudes really thriving and taking big jumps next year on the defense. As far as offense, I think it's going to be probably Corum on offense, maybe Andrell Anthony on offense, or Roman Wilson. But those guys kind of got some shine this year, I guess. Andrell not as much, but I think the big jump will be on one of these defensive starters, defensive players that start right now or play a lot now. I think they're going to have a big jump in the system next year. So it'd probably be like Rod Moore or R.J. Moden. I think one of those dudes is going to have a big year, or even DJ Turner taking it up another notch to shut down corner ability to be that All-American. Shout out to Stephen Brown. What's up, bro? He says, do you think that college football needs Alabama versus Michigan in the national championship game? And when that happens, what advantage do I think Michigan would have from a position group standpoint? Yeah, I think college football does need us to make the championship. And I spoke about this on the live. Who wants to watch Alabama versus Georgia again? Probably only Georgia fans and some SEC fans. But I don't think the rest of the country wants to see it again. We've seen it too many times now. And Georgia pretty much loses every time. So who wants to watch this? And honestly, if Georgia plays Alabama again, I think they're going to get dragged bad this time. Like, I think it is going to be like 45-20 this time, or 35-10, or something like that. I think it's going to be even worse than it was the first game. Now, if Michigan plays Alabama, the strength, I see that as kind of similar to the Ohio State game. So the strength, and that's our strength on anybody, is Aiden and Ojabo. Sick 'em. So that's the real strength, and that's why we match up with certain teams in the way the game is played now. Everybody wants to spread it out and throw the ball so much. So the real strength, us going against a team like Bama, is we've got the best pass rushing duo in the nation. So that's the real strength. And I guess you could say our running backs, but when you talk about running backs, you have to talk about the offensive line. So the offensive line would be a big thing also, but Bama does have a pretty good defense. I can't remember the linebacker's name, but he won Defensive Player of the Year. So Bama's got some stuff on defense, and we know they got pretty good wideouts. I know Mechie is supposed to be out, but Bama's got a lot of good position groups. But the thing that Michigan does is the strength that Michigan could have against them is the defensive line. So that can put you in every game. It's like the Patriots when they lost to the New York Giants. It's like, okay, how are they going to beat them? Okay, you want to throw a lot. Okay, well, we got a great defensive line that's not going to give Brady time to shred us. And it becomes a low-scoring game. And as we all know, the Giants beat the Patriots when they had Moss and Wes Welker and were undefeated. So the defensive line is the biggest thing, Aiden and Ojabo, because they're going to give you a chance against anybody. Stop the run and make them have to throw on you. Let's see. Kamir224 says, change my mind. This year's team has the most number of offensive weapons in modern program history. With Haskins, Edwards, Corum, Andrell, Shun, Henning, JJ, Cornelius, Roman Wilson, and Sanders-Steele. UM had this many weapons at one time who have proven themselves over the course of a single year. That's facts. Like, you just speaking facts. As far as Michigan, now other teams may have had more talent and all this, but as far as Michigan goes, I think this is the biggest collection of talent on offense that we've had maybe ever. of dudes that we know can make plays. Everybody can make a play that plays on offense. From Roman Wilson being able to get deep and do reverses. Cornelius can get deep, do reverses, can do things underneath. Sainer still, same thing. AJ Henning, he doesn't really catch many passes, but he's a beast in the return game and on reverses when he gets the ball in his hands. You got Donovan Edwards, who can catch and run and is fast. Haskins, you got a bell cow to get tough yards. That's going to be paramount against Georgia. You got Corum, who's fast and is tough. And oh yeah, you got JJ McCarthy, who can run, pass, and comes in to give the defense something to think about. And then you got Eric All, NFL tight end. You got Schoonmaker. So yeah, this is the most collection of talent on offense Michigan has had that we actually know what these guys can somewhat do. The Free Economist says, do you think this is the beginning of a dominant phase for Michigan where we beat OSU 8 out of 10 times and become big champs a majority of the time, as in the past during the Schembechler, Moeller, Carr era? This could be the changing of the tides. This could be. And I don't think we thought it could happen this fast after last year, but it did. When you change so many assistant coaches and you change the culture with Aiden and Josh Ross and some of these other dudes, Brad Hawkins, shout out to Brad. I was tough on him in past years. Shout out him with leadership, and Dax Hill, these seniors and these dudes on offense, Haskins, that are changing the culture. And it's big when you do these things because the players that are the younger players see how it feels to win and accomplish things. They don't want to go back to losing against Ohio State and losing against these other teams and having bad seasons. Now they know how it feels. So it was paramount. And now we got Mike Macdonald. And let me say this real quick. If we wouldn't have had Don Brown, the culture would have been changed. I'm sorry, it would have. The culture would have changed. Don Brown held these other teams back. 2018, 2019, he held those teams back. We might have been able to beat Ohio State because the offense could score. It's just he was giving up 56 and 60 some points. He don't give you a chance. So when we were losing close games to Penn State, but he's blitzing on 3rd and 15 and things like that, he's putting KJ Hamler on Josh Metellus and on Brad Hawkins. Brandon Watson is out there one-on-one getting burnt play after play, and you won't put safety over the top. He held some of those teams back from their full potential, from his scheme on defense. So just getting rid of him was huge for the team, and you seeing the dividends. But I think it all boiled down to just getting rid of him and also getting certain types of players. And what's the Bo quote? Those who stay will be champions. Was that Bo or was that before Bo? But either way, those who stay will be champions. So even getting rid of like a Giles Jackson, when he left, I didn't want him to leave, but sometimes it's addition by subtraction. So you get dudes that really don't want to be here, and you get dudes that are younger that buy in. That buy in. They when Aiden is preaching and trying to get dudes focused, and Josh Ross and Haskins and these dudes are trying to get the teammates focused, you always got some dudes that are trying to get them focused and prepped and trying to be those leaders, and you got some dudes in the locker room, they rolling their eyes like, yeah, whatever. But this year was different. You didn't have that. You didn't have those me guys. You had team guys. So when you see the leadership and everybody buys into what the coaches are saying, and then the leaders are saying the same thing and everybody buys in, Then you get this team concept where every man is bought in and they're trying to accomplish goals and they believe they can get these goals. So that's the big thing. So now these dudes have seen the player leadership and it has a trickle down effect. So now you're gonna have dudes for the future that say, Aiden is gone, I'm taking that leadership role. Dax Hill is gone, I'm taking that leadership role. Josh Ross is gone, I'm taking that leadership role. Haskins is gone, I'm taking the leadership role. Cade is gone, I'm taking the leadership role. I want to be what they were for Michigan. So that's the big thing about having not only the leadership with the coaches, but you need those leaders that are captains and on the field to make sure the message is getting through that this is the way we do things now. This is what we have to do to win. And then you got players that want to be that and that understand how serious it is. So that's kind of what I think is happening, and it's already having a trickle down effect because we see it in recruiting. So us having this great year, the recruits see it and like, oh, okay, I can go to the Big Ten championship if I go to Michigan. We can beat Ohio State. We can go to a playoff because now they see it. It's not just talk anymore. They see it. Okay, they got something going. Who they got on the bench? Oh, they loaded at receiver. Got 2 running backs. Offensive line of the year. Assistant coach of the year. Offensive coordinator. Okay, they got something. What they got on defense? Oh, they got Aiden. He getting awards as the best lineman of the year. They got Ojabo. He gonna be a top 10 pick. Okay, they got something going. They couldn't stop Ohio State. Oh, they done held Ohio State down. They done beat them handedly. They got something going. Maybe I will go to Michigan. So the trickle down effect is just winning. So you get the leadership, and winning cures a lot of things. You win, the players will come. So that's the big thing. Now I think that might be it for the questions. Yeah, I think that's all the questions. Rip Serwin said, do you think Utah is a terrible matchup for OSU? I can't even answer it, bro. I don't know anything about Utah. I'm just going to be real. I don't know anything about Utah. So if they run the ball well, it can be. But they still got to play defense. That's why I say I really don't know much about OSU, Utah. So I can't answer that one, bro. So, and Rip Serwin says, have I seen Ghostbusters? No, I haven't seen the new Ghostbusters, bro. But yeah, that was all the questions for Q&A. Let's see. TRD Bird says, besides Cade and JJ, who competes for the QB job? I don't think anybody has a chance to win the QB job next year besides Cade and JJ. I just don't. Harbaugh is loyal anyway, so them dudes, it's 1 and 2. Or 1A, 1B. Like, nobody's competing for that job except them dudes. It ain't even a question. Now, when in spring and stuff, they gonna say we got 3-4 guys competing for the job. Don't believe it. It's Cade and JJ competing for that job. Unless they just all of a sudden get some mega 5-star that transfers in and he's just a beast. But I don't even think they'd take one of those dudes right now because they got trust in Cade and they really got trust that JJ is going to be that dude for the future. That's why you saw him playing this year. So it ain't nobody. It's Cade and JJ. So that's all I got for this one, y'all. I wanted to answer these questions. I appreciate it. If you made it this long, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody joining in for the lives. I'll go live again Sunday night, I believe. It'll be sometime Sunday. I'll post a pic letting you know what time I'll be going live Sunday, though. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. Appreciate the questions. Now, like, share, subscribe. By order of the Peaky Blinders. And as always, go blue.